Uh, Hello. Hmm. I hope that you're all well and that you're got your headphones on. You're watching this in a full screen so that you can kind of, get involved with what we're going to talk about. I'm going to talk to you about mankind and the condition of mankind, and I'm going to suggest to you bring up some new information for you so that you have a choice that you can make and that will be something that could move you forward should you take it up. And I don't want you to just take my word for it. It's a matter. This thing that I'm suggesting is a matter of something that you can experience yourself, and then you can get your own proof and your own understanding of what it is from your own experience, and so forth and so on. So the condition of mankind, let's just draw back with me and look at mankind and make a few observations. And we can observe many things, can't we? We can observe that children are still quite wonderful, and they're big eyes, and they learn, and they're full of innocence, and they are eager to do some things, and they're full of life. They love to play, and they love to and they have strong feelings too about things, and they love a lot of times, they love their parents, and they love their dog, and they love their toys. But they're full of life, and really quite wonderful. It's amazing, isn't it, that each one is different. We don't say, "Oh yeah, no, I've seen 100 kids like him," even though there's 7 billion people on the earth. You never say that, do you? Isn't it interesting that each one is somehow just a little bit different? Sometimes there's a certain kind you can sort of recognize a certain bone structure type, or certain kind of things, but it's still, there's a sufficient override. There's a sufficient amount of difference that each child is unique, and should you be lucky enough that they take an interest in you and draw close to you, and even more lucky that they open up to you, why, it's really quite a precious experience to have with a child. So there's that. That's still going on. If we look at the condition of that man exists in on the earth today, the weather, how things are in general, is quite magnificent. It's amazing every day. The fresh air, the breezes, the changing of the seasons, certain times of the day, certain times at night, certain times in the evening, and so on. Up in the mountains, down by the seashore, there are things, moments which we all feel, wow, isn't that something? Isn't it something? Isn't that marvelous? Isn't that, it's so, it's just like, of course you don't think that way, but you could think, for instance, well, it's just so, so suited to me, or to whatever I am. I like that. You affirm the positive nature of the environment that we live in. You know, and even, you know, there are rumors and whispers, and certainly there's things happening in places where it's, this and that, but in general, we find that to be true every day. A new day. A little surprising. Today isn't quite like yesterday. Very similar in a way, but there's some kind of difference. So you don't feel like you're repeating yesterday's weather. you know, it can be the same time in the summer. You recognize certain things about the summer, but it's not like you're repeating, oh yeah, it was just like this last year. Can we have something new? No. There always is something a little bit new in each day, isn't there? And as people have said, you know, it's a new day. There's probably more to that than meets the eye. No, it is a new day. Anyhow, so we can look at that. We can look at mankind, children, when they get to, you know, as they go on, and then they end up generally working for people who have money, or if they're lucky and they are still isolated from that sort of behavior, why then they work on a farm for their family and they do stuff, and you know, as you know, they fall in love and get married and have kids and are brave and strong and feel good about themselves, and then later having generally made quite a few mistakes in their life, they feel less. They may still feel good about it, but they feel less, like, hey, I'm, the cat's meow. They feel more like, well, I'm, I don't know, I'm a human being. I'm trying the best I can, that kind of thing. And then they get older. A lot of times you see the old people. There's two different aspects. I mean, they're kind of, some of them are, you get to know them and stuff. You know about them and things. There's a number of them that are quite cheerful and upbeat about things, and there's a very large number that are kind of a little bit off. A little bit, they don't open up much, and they have a few friends and they talk about stuff. Maybe at the end of the life the person has, mankind, a person has, well, it's usually kind of, they're not, happy skipping around, but you can see in their eyes sometimes they're still dancing around, they're still the same. So that's mankind, in a nutshell. I mean, just making a few observations, many observations, of course. So, well, the thing is, mankind is in a bit of a jam, I think. Mankind needs help. And I say that, I don't know if you agree with me or not, perhaps you do. I say that because usually there is someone, there's a person, there's a being who rises up to the occasion in the world. There are people who, yes, and they kind of make things right. They do noble things, and they bring things around. Things were bad, but now Bob and his team, or Janet and her team, they come in and they fix things up. And they've had the bad guys and the bad women and whatever, the bad girls, the guys, they've had them go home, and they've put them in their place, and all is right with the world. And I think, I say that we need help in the sense that I think it's very, very difficult for us to have many of those moments when we feel that everything is right with the world. Particularly if you've been here a while and you kind of understand some of the codes and the ways that people talk to each other, what they're really saying, to some degree. I'm not trying to be mystical or anything, but I'm just saying, ordinary wisdom that you get from living here and understanding. It's more like a kind of a frantic, there's a frantic element to it. We've had a lot of bad news recently about what's happening, and we've seen and gotten good information about what's happening to the earth, what's happening to children on their education, how how they're turning out, what they're doing, and their lack of, they don't seem to be, there aren't a lot of leaders around, and people who are, you know, standing up, making it easy for the rest of us, the weaker people, to kind of go, yeah, no, I'm for him. That's what we need to do, and I can see how we can do it. It's very hard to see these days how we can do it. How can we do it? Why? Because capitalism or money or stuff like that has a pretty strong grip on the world. I mean, in other words, a lot of money has gotten into the hands of people who don't seem to care much, or even if they do care, aren't able to do much about the well-being and the the prospering and the nurturing of mankind in general. Instead, they seem to be very good at making profits and looking good and saying nice things that are temporarily often very persuasive. But we're not getting the results. Well, you know, I'm an American. Please forgive me, you know, but don't forget, I'm not really an American. I'm just an ordinary human being. You know, I went to school and I had my heart broken, and I've had children, and studied, and I've gone through life just like, you know, uncountable other people. And so, you know, looking at something ordinary, you say, well, you know, let's say a community. Well, I've got a community of people here. They're thriving. The air is good. The land is you know, rich and strong. And sure, we have problems. We have difficulties, challenges, and things, and that's good too. But not too many. On the whole, Grandma makes a good pie, and kids are growing up, and my daughter soon get married, and my son is going to college, and, you know, da-da-da-da-da, and all the good things, you know, a good life, and life is good. So, well, you could say life is good. You could say life is good. Well, it's difficult to say that without some kind of footnotes or some qualifications at this point, because how good is life? Well, I mean, taken as a community, we seem to be, I mean, if you look at mankind as a big community, is it a loving, nurturing community that supports itself and helps itself? We help each other in our community, and we give, and we're given to, and you know, we also have needs, and those needs are met, and we also help to meet the needs of other people, and everything's going along pretty good. Or have things kind of gotten out of hand on the whole, and is it possible that instead of doing that, as looking at us all as one big community, is it possible that there are some people kind of operating behind the scenes, or maybe not so often, and not always behind the scenes, they sometimes come right out, and about who seem to have misused the system, or have gotten things kind of this way and that way, so they've gotten kind of a grip on us, and they have done things so that we don't all have like a nice piece of land, maybe 4 or 5 acres, even though there is 4 or 5 acres available even to the 7 billion people on the earth. They've done studies about this. I'm not just making this up. They've done very careful studies, and they see that on the face of the earth, right now, as we speak, there's around 5 acres, vaguely in that area, of arable land, meaning land that where there's water available and can be things can grow on it. In other words, a livable habitat for each person on the earth. Well, no, we're not all. We don't have that. We don't have. A lot of times we don't have any land. If we have land, it's highly restricted what can be done on it. If you subscribe to the current, what's the trends or the things, and you have money, or you've got this and that, and you're not the average person. But the average person is definitely struggling and having to face too many problems. Well, let's just cut to the chase. I mean, and you all know the problems. I'm not going to talk too much about the problems, the problems with the Earth itself and the atmosphere of the Earth and what's happening there. Problems with the water. There's problems with the quality, and then the food that we're eating, and people are messing with it and doing things to it. And of course, it's harmless what they do. That's what they tell you, but that's not what the evidence suggests. There's strong evidence that it isn't harmless. So we're eating foods that's not so hot. We're breathing air that isn't like it used to be. And we're depleting, we're using up a lot of stuff in the earth. Just waste. I mean, they make a bunch of stuff, takes a lot of material, and then they just throw it away, dump it in the ground. A lot of things are going on which just aren't very pleasing to an ordinary, regular type human being. So what's to be done, or what can be done? Well, let's just say, alright, if there are a lot of problems, let's try to kind of come to something just from that information. Just in that heater. If there are problems in our community, and our community is made up of people, then the problems mean that we ourselves, the beings ourselves, we have problems. How could it be that we have problems? Well, we could have problems, and one of the main, obvious, clearest, easiest things to see is because we all think we're doing the right thing, don't we? We all feel, hey, I'm on it, man. I'm doing what, I'm doing what I need to do, and I'm doing the best I can, and I'm cooking along here, man. I'm having a life. And what are all these other people, But so what might be the difficulty? Well, if you really look at it, you'll understand, you'll see that, I'm not making, this is something you can see right now, that you all come from the very first people, very first beings that were here. Your genetic line, your DNA, everything, it all comes for quite a while. There's controversy about how it is, how many years that might be, and there's all kind of confusion and misinformation about it. But generally, there's evidence. You can check it out for yourself. If you really look for it, you could find it too. But there's evidence that mankind, this generation of man, our community that we're in, has been around 50,000 or so years. And so there's been many generations. If you say that there's a generation, I don't know what the mathematicians and people do, but if you take 50,000 years and you divide it by, let's say, 20 years, for each generation. Oops, I did the wrong thing here. 5,000 divided by 20. You have 250 generations. That's 5,000. So 50,000 would be 2,500 generations. 2,500 times that the parents had children, those children had children. So good things and not so good things, things that work in the body, things that don't work in the body, and the whole vessel that we inhabit. Hopefully you realize at least that you're not the vessel that you inhabit. That's what you have when you're here. In any case, that's 2,500 generations. So you can see that we know, using our common sense, that things will tend to degrade unless they're repaired and restored and really taken very good care of. And if you study the history of, that is the story of man's mistakes on the earth, you can see that lots and lots and lots and lots of really bad mistakes have been made, I mean, if you look at us as a car or something, it's like we ran over some really bad roads and they didn't put oil in the car at the time. This thing is a mess. But it's an amazing vessel, and it's amazing how the whole thing works. The whole thing is amazing. It's amazing how the earth works. It's amazing. If you really study how the earth actually works, the weather and everything else, it's absolutely exquisite, and you'd never figure it out. You'd never be able to make, you never come up with something that ingenious yourself. You couldn't do it. And it's amazing, as they say, and people are still finding out more and more and more. It's incredible how the body works. How the whole thing works. It's amazing. Very ingenious, as you might say. Well, it's, in need of repair. Things have gone wrong. So, you would think, would you not, that there would be ways of repair. Now, you can say how we, the people here, the ones that find ourselves here, and what do we know? We don't know much, do we? We don't know. A lot of us, we're not really quite clear, and we wouldn't stake our life on it for sure, exactly where we came from, and we don't know exactly where we're going either. Some people don't, So, but we're here now, and we're in a vessel, and gee, a lot of things in vessels still work after 50,000 years. I mean, physically, everything works, but I mean, in terms of your ability to deal with certain things and the kind of things that come up and your capacities and your things, the longer that you live here, the more amazed you become, hopefully, unless you give up. But if you stay with it, you become pretty amazed at how you can even your body can still be, how it functions so well, even in the, it's like, wow, this is great. This thing really gets you through a lot of stuff. Still, it needs some repair. Now, here's a funny thing about anyone's state and condition or how they are, is you don't remember. People reported this, and there's all kinds of things about this, but see, like how you were when you were 5 years old. Let's say you had a certain innocence and a certain joy in life, and certain eagernesses, and how your body felt so good about this and that and everything else, and how you were. You don't really remember that. You don't experience that in your life every day. Maybe a little bit of it, or you think you do, but you're if you were to go back when you were that age, you go like, wow, I forgot how I used to feel when I was just a kid. So we can say that there's also things that possibly you never felt, which the first people who were here did feel, and did have qualities and things. You say, well, they progressed. It's the other way. No, that's not really. Let's say that they were perfect. Perfect on arriving at earth, extremely ignorant about the earth, I'm sure. We know tons about it now, but not ignorant, not without great capacities and great other conditions that we very likely, if you're reasoning about things, very likely we no longer have these things, just as we no longer have the things, some of the things that we had when we were children that were quite wonderful. We don't feel like that anymore. You know? So, there was an indication, coming back to the first thing I was talking about, is, where are the noble leaders who make everything right? There's an indication that man is not able to make everything right at this point anymore. We have leaders, and they're able to do all kinds of things, to talk really well and do some stuff, but the thing has kind of gotten out of hand, so the bad guys seem to be winning. And who the bad guys are is another matter. We can talk about that briefly, because in you there are all kinds of different forces and cells and passions and insights and emotions and all kinds of things in there. And they take the upper hand, and they act. And it seems that if we look at the evidence, that the kind of things that are acting now are really not good for us. In other words, for a person, to act so that they get a lot of, feel pretty good here, or they think they're going to feel good, and they get a lot of stuff, at the expense of the well-being of other people, that's not good, is it? That's not very fair, and it's not equitable for all of us. We don't really we want Jim and Mary to be happy, but not at our expense. What we want is we want everyone to be happy, we want everyone to have a fair chance. We don't want everyone to be happy, we're like some kind of ecstatic, over the top type of group of people, but we want them to be happy in a real sense, and that they feel good about their life. We think, in general, I dare say, do you agree with me or not, that a person, you need to feel good about your life, and you should feel good about your life. I mean, there are many possibilities, all kinds of things that can be developed, and things you can do, and help you can give to others, and you can also be on the receiving end of that, and lots of love that you can give, and there's lots of love that you can be loved, and you can love, and you can feel the healing and the wonder of that. So those are all things that are good, but this kind of thing that we're talking about here is not so good, because it means that some people, at the expense of other people, are doing things which actually cause harm to other people, or to the earth, or to the land, or to animals, or plants, or whatever. It's something, they cause harm. They abuse, the wrongful action, wrong things. We understand between right and wrong. So these things, as we look at it from the point of view of ourselves, a big community, mankind, we could call it womankind, I suppose. Why not? But man, meaning the generic term for human beings, humankind. Let's say humankind. And you might say, well, I don't know, a lot of people don't seem very human to me, and that's true, but that's another story. But speaking more simply and, in an ordinary way about things, humankind, there's things going on that we need to do something about. But we can't do it because we're trapped. The big guy's got the thing and he's going like, no, I have no time for this, do this now. Run over here. I mean, the place where I live, it's just amazing. It's amazing how resilient people are and what they'll put up with. I mean, we have a large portion of our populace, well, 50 million, that's about a sixth, I think, of the United States. People run around, they don't really have a decent place to live, and I mean, they have someplace, a shelter, and a lot of them don't even have that. They live in tents. They live they're always being thrown out, and they're like becoming more and more like gypsies in Europe. They're not wanted, and they get a bad reputation, and they get bad PR. They're just ordinary people, but they get bad mouths. People, run around, have to have 3 jobs to, and the jobs are doing what? They work for some corporation, McDonald's or Target or Walmart. They don't make a fair wage, and they don't get taken care of. They don't have benefits that we call being taken care of. In other words, the people they work for don't work for them. It's not a heavenly situation. A heavenly situation, you can say, is one where what you need also needs you. That's real good. That's nice, and that works out well. I mean, things are working well there. That's a good deal. But these people, although they do need you, they do need us. They don't seem to think they do, and so it's all kind of very strange. And so, in some, they work really quite hard. And they have to have, like, as I say, 3 jobs, and then they can hardly afford a place for shelter. They spend their whole life working to have a place of shelter, and if a moment's reflection will tell you that, given a little piece of land and some resources, you could build yourself a nice shelter. You and your family could do it, and your community could even help you. And you could do it within a year, and then you could spend the rest of your time, besides, providing your yearly sustenance and everything else, doing other things that human beings like to do. They like to travel, they like to visit, they like to increase their skills and capacity in different ways and have fun. You could be doing those things instead of spending all your time, just working with somebody else who really doesn't have your interests at heart. We find they used to try and say, "Oh yes, no, we care about you," and some of them did, but then a lot of them, it turned out, were just putting on a fancy face. Anyway, so things are not. I think most of us would have to agree. It doesn't. It's not. It's too. On the whole, we can't say, "Well, yeah, life is good. We're having a good life." I mean, yeah. Alright, so that's a situation that I see. I hope that you see a better situation, but if you don't, I think actually a lot of you would agree with me. That's a pretty generalized statement about the condition that we're in, and the more we see people trying to take care of it, you know, it's like, it doesn't look very helpful. You know, it's like David and Goliath or something. You know, it's like some kind of mismatched deal. Things have gotten out of hand. What to do about it? Well, the human mankind needs to be restored, brought back to its initial perfection and excellence. And how can that be done? Okay, so I'm going to talk about that in the next tape. I wish I could make it seem where in order to see the next tape you have to watch the one before it, so that, because each one is kind of setting up the next one. I'm getting tired now, so I just don't have the heart, or the, you know, I can't go on to the next subject, a big subject. Well, I'm not fresh enough for everything, but I think I've at least started. So this will be part one, and you know, we can call it whatever we want. We can call it the situation. Let's do something about the situation. What can be done? What can really be done successfully? Not wish and if and should we and can't. You know, but what actually we can feel pretty sure about, and we can feel, yeah, okay, I can see our path. I can see how we can get from here to there, and it will be successful. I know it in my bones, and I'm usually right about, you know, and that kind of thing. That's what we're going to be coming to. I do have the answers. I do know what needs to be done for mankind. You know, I'm sure that you find that unbelievable, perhaps, but don't be too unbelievable, because it's true. I do have those answers, and I'm going to give them to you as we go along. Should you have the determination, the persistence, and really just the need, you know. I don't know, you know, to let's get on the real thing. Let's do the real thing that really actually needs to be done, not just talk about and try to do all the things they're doing from the get-go. They're not going to work very much, not enough, too little, too late, that kind of thing. I think that's possibly a good way to typify the situation right now, bringing too little, too late to the table, in fact. Perhaps people don't want to admit it, but you know, perhaps that is the case. But there is a way to actually come out in the positive light of day on the other side of this thing. You know, and go through it with, you know, in a good way that won't be too daunting and too horrendous either. It doesn't require, you know, complete sacrifice or anything like that, but it requires real effort and determination, certainly. No, more than, you know, we can do without becoming disturbed or upset. Alright, so there you go. Okay, bye-bye.